It's time to make our swirl around blocks. One of the first things you'll notice is that the pattern creates a swirl around the entire block. To keep things fun, I've used different values of the same color for the blue. So I have a light print and a darker one that reads true to the color. And you can see that I've done that on all of my blocks. Here are a couple examples. Okay, to get started, you're going to need to trim out all of your fabrics. Now I've gone ahead and cut out my strips right here, and we're going to start with the squares. Now you're going to need to subcut them, and it's very simple. All you're going to do is take your ruler and put it corner to corner, one pass through, and then turn it over and do it again. Since I don't have my rotating mat, I'm turning it manually. Okay. Repeat the process until you have all of your squares subcut. I like to stack them a few high. Personally, I think 3 is enough to ensure accuracy. So in order to create your units, you're going to take your triangle and align it directly down at the bottom corner. And then all we're going to do is simply 1/4 inch stitch right here. Okay? The important thing to remember is that you are always positioning this triangle in the same corner on each side. This way, your swirl will always be going in the same direction. Be sure to press your seam allowance as per the pattern, and then it's all about arranging our units to create the design. Now I'm just going to take these two and stitch them together and repeat for the other side. Press your seam allowance over, and then we will just be nesting our seams. I'm going to take this to the pressing board very quickly and come back. Okay, and now it's just about nesting your seams. You're going to make sure that your seam allowance is in the opposite direction, and if you follow the instructions on the pattern, it will happen very easily. And then just simply stitch these together. Now that I have my blocks stitched, it's time to trim them to size. They're going to finish at 6.5. So I happen to have a 6.5 inch square ruler, which makes it very easy, but you don't need this ruler. You can do it with any straight edge ruler. This just happens to make it a little bit easier. And you're going to line up corner to corner with your lines right across there, and it makes it very easy. If you happen to have the Alpha ruler, you'll notice that the 3 inch right here is the center, this little quarter, even though it is 3 1/4. But once you take your seam allowance off, it finishes at center. So it's just simply a matter of trimming all around your sizes. Okay. The 6.5 inch ruler really makes trimming each side so much easier. Okay, and now I have a perfectly finished block. Let me do it one more time. See here that I've got it lined up. You don't have to worry about being off a little bit on your sizes when you're sewing, because I have allotted enough for you in cutting each piece that you will be able to have a little bit extra to trim away and find your perfect square. Okay? And they really look fantastic when all stitched up.
Want to quilt along with me? Be sure to visit thesewingloft.com and join the Slightly Biased Quilt Along for pattern details.